Hey guys, what's going on? So excited. Thank you so much, Keisha. What an amazing experience to bring together some really passionate, strong women that just have such a message to share. So thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here. My name is Melissa. A lot of people call me Sunny. I am 150% a light worker, and I will tell you that is something that I uncovered fairly recently. And it's a pretty exciting thing to uncover when you understand what it means to actually be a light worker. So if you're joining us here for this summit, you're probably a light worker. I almost guarantee that you are probably a light worker if you're here and you're on the same vibration as the people that are coming here to share their hearts. So exciting. I want to start off by just sharing a little bit about my journey, my story. One of my favorite things to help people do is to really start embracing their own story. You know, looking back on the good times, the bad times, and being able to use that as this fuel and this passion to move forward and make an impact, raise the vibration of the world. So I have always had this entrepreneurial drive to me ever since I was a little girl. One of my favorite things to do in the summertime was to hold lemonade stands. You know what I mean? I just loved holding lemonade stands, or I always had this vibe to me where I knew that I could make it on my own. I just had so much belief in myself. And I still did the college thing, you know, because that's what everyone around me was doing, you know, going to high school, then going to college, then, you know, I stopped it right there though. I went to college and I was like, 5 years, you know, I went to school for leadership studies, psychology, and majored in fashion merchandising. And when graduation rolled around, I had already seen so many friends in the fashion industry, and it didn't feel in alignment with me. You know, they were having to do things that they didn't want to do. You know, they were in such hustle mode, and that just didn't feel well with me. It didn't resonate, you know? So I decided to go on my own path. So the day I graduated college, I said, I'm going to figure this out, you know, and I had actually found an opportunity on Craigslist. Who feels me? Back in college days when you're like struggling to make any kind of money you can, searching through Craigslist, applying to literally anything I could come across. So that was me. And I found a network marketing opportunity. I joined right away. Had no idea what I was getting into. You know, I went and met the lady, and at first I was like, hell no, I don't want to pay to become some part of something, you know, and luckily the guy I was dating at the time said, even entrepreneurs need to invest sometimes. So he put that in my mind, and I was like, all right, let me give this a try. So I joined, I started using the products. I completely changed my body and how I felt. And that's when it hit me. I was like, you know what? I can make something out of this. I can do this. So I dove right in full time right after I graduated college. And let me tell you, that was a freaking journey. I am the type of person that always needs to learn things the hard way. I don't know if you can feel me there. I don't know if you agree with me, but I always need to learn things the hard way. And jumping right into entrepreneurship without really knowing what I was doing was very interesting. You know, I didn't even really take many business classes or anything, which is kind of funny, but graduated college and I ended up opening a nutrition club. So what that is it's kind of like a healthy cafe. You know, people would come in for our meal replacement shakes and post-workout shakes, energizing teas. You know, I have a very supportive mother who I'm so grateful for. She stood behind me and she saw my passion and really helped support me in that journey. And I was there for 4 years. I owned that business for 4 years, and it was a total crapshoot. Like, the fact that we survived for 4 years is freaking amazing, you know, when you just are totally stepping into messy action, you know. I didn't know anything about handicap accessible bathrooms. I didn't know anything about floor plans and going to have to get all these licenses. And it was one of the most powerful things I could have done for myself. And through that experience, I learned a lot of things. And this is what I really want to help prompt you to do, okay? It's as simple as grabbing a piece of paper and making a line down the middle. And on the left, what lights me up? And on the right, what doesn't light me up? All right. This is what I have done for my entire life. I have gone through so many experiences and memories to pull the evidence out of my own life. What lights me up? what doesn't light me up? Because when you stick with that column on the left, what lights you up? Your vibe, your energy is going to match that. All right. And as we all know, energy leads. Energy always speaks louder than our actual words. You know, I know for a fact that's why I chose to work with Keisha. Keisha actually did the cover to my podcast, and her energy was so amazing. I loved it. I know that's why I was drawn to her. You know, we didn't have many conversations, but I saw her on social media and I loved her energy. So energy always leads, all right? So when we're doing the things that light us up and we're letting go of some of the things that no longer light us up, that's when we can truly have this energy that's magnetizing. And I don't know about you, but in this entrepreneurial world, I want to have a magnetizing energy, you know? So through this experience of owning the nutrition club, I learned a whole lot about what didn't light me up. And I had to make one of the hardest decisions I've made thus far in my life, and that was to leave the nutrition club. I built such an incredible community. Like, it still makes me emotional thinking about it, because there was hundreds of people that would come in almost every day to hang out there. And I loved it. But what happens when you're stuck in this role of a people pleaser? You know, and that's what I had to realize, is I was 150% being a people pleaser by making sure that I was staying open just to make other people happy, right? So I made the decision to speak my truth for the very first time and stand up for myself and say, listen, you're not happy right now. You're working 7 days a week, so many hours, so many different types of jobs and duties and responsibilities. And I was truly burning myself out. I knew that there was so much more potential, and I knew that I needed to kind of spread my wings and break away. So I ended up complete loss, selling the place for pretty much nothing, just to make sure that it stayed open, because I didn't want to take this happy place away from people, you know? So through that experience, I had to go through a lot of low vibe, all right? The seasons always come. You know, I heard that yesterday on the summit, right? Seasons always come. Winter always comes. We're always going to have these low vibe times in our life, but how quickly can you pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and bring that vibe back up again? All right. So I made the action. I left the place, and I was able to now go on this new journey of doing network marketing without a location. So if I have any network marketers in here, you might feel me here. It's pretty challenging when you are literally just using your laptop and your phone to sustain a business, to build a business. So I ended up realizing that I was getting pretty drained with network marketing. And it was, you know, something, I love the products. I use them every day to this day. I still do the business, but I had to start giving myself permission that I didn't have to do this full time. All right. If you have been around network marketing before, there is a culture of full time. Everyone wants to do this full time. You know, it's like, I almost felt like wrong, because my heart was telling me that there was more inside of me than just this network marketing company. And it was really hard to admit at first. It was really hard to tell my team. It was really hard to tell my uplines. But coming back to the list of what lights you up and what doesn't light you up. If you get stuck over here with what's not lighting you up, your energy is going to speak louder than your words, all right? So people would contact me for a nutrition plan, for a fitness plan. You know, I've been in the fitness industry for 8 years now, so I'm grateful that people trusted me. But what happened was they would reach out to me and I would get annoyed. I would be almost like angry that they were hitting me up, which is not alignment. It is not alignment, right? Life does not have to feel stressful like that. You know, I was in this mindset of hustle. Hustle, hustle, hustle. No sleep till Prez team. You know what I mean? No sleep till you're a diamond. Very much the culture in network marketing, which, hey, that's great. That's great if that feels good for your heart, but it didn't feel good for me. And I had to really stand up for myself and my future and speak my truth here. You know, I wanted to get out of hustle and I wanted to align. And I'm so grateful for the mentors that I've had in my life to help point out, why are you hiding behind fitness? That's what I was doing. I was using fitness as just like this comfort zone, right? My mom is a spiritual healer. I'm really so grateful to be kind of like following in her footsteps. But I'll tell you, back in the day when I was growing up, she was the weird mom. I was like, Mom, you're so weird. Why do you do all this stuff? Why do you go to all these seminars? You know, does anyone feel that? Their parents are like, whatever they're doing is kind of like weird, and we're the cool kids, we're the cool children, right? I'm so grateful that my mom was the weird mom, because she really opened up this path for me, you know? And so once I started being called out, right? Coaches are amazing for calling us out. I always say to potential clients, right? If you're at a museum and you're standing with your nose touching a painting, you can't see the whole painting, right? Because you're so close to it, you're so in it. And that's how we are in our own lives sometimes, you know? So having someone with an external look on your life is really freaking powerful. So I had some amazing mentors that were like, Melissa, you are hiding behind fitness. If you guys don't follow Marley Ansel, she's such a beautiful person. She has made such an impact in my life, and I'm so grateful for her. But yeah, she made me realize I'm hiding behind fitness, right? So we have to learn how to give ourselves permission to evolve. You know, it's almost like, how many of you have ever outgrown a friend? Right? We can outgrow things, and that's okay. And we got to give ourselves permission to outgrow things. That's evolvement, right? That's the point of life, is to evolve and to grow. And so when I started realizing that I was kind of sort of outgrowing this a little bit, you know, I love the products that in this network marketing company, I still use them every single day. If someone hits me up and they want products, of course I'm going to help them, you know, but I had to kind of give myself permission to evolve. I wanted to have a brand for myself. I wanted to be able to help people on a deeper level, right? Because nutrition and fitness, yeah, that's important, right? But let's be real. If we're not doing the work up here, what results are we going to actually see in the gym? You know, I always tell people, the more hate I sent to my stomach, for example, and my thighs, the more hate I was receiving back. You know, they weren't changing. When I was able to switch and start doing this mindset work and send more loving energy to my body, that's when I saw my body tightening up, my little muscles poking out, you know, very different. So I started realizing that too many of the people that I was working with in the fitness industry, they didn't have their mindset right. And they were sending hate. They were working out because they hated their body, not because they loved their body. And right there, I started realizing things have got to change here. And I'm going to stand up and I want to be that voice. I want to help people change, you know, and as light workers, that's what we're all doing. We're using our strong voice to help awaken people. I don't know if you guys have, I'm sure you've realized, right, that there is such a shift going on in the energy. We are coming into such a feminine energy, and it's such a beautiful thing. I don't know about you, but I definitely have friends that have always been like a little on the negative side, you know, like haven't matched me vibrationally as far as spirituality goes. And all of a sudden recently, they're sending me memes and they're saying things to me, and it's like they're catching on. They're catching on. And I truly believe that's because I've dedicated myself to be a leader as a light worker. And that's what we all need to do. We all need to come here and lock arms and be such an impactful leader in this role as a light worker, because we have a lot of work to do, like a lot of work to do. You know, there are still so many people who just thrive off negativity and thrive off this low vibe energy. And as light workers, we can really shift that by raising our own vibration first. Right? By using our own energy to change the feel of a room when you walk into the room. You know, whenever I walk into the grocery store, I try to expand my energy with so much love and light that I impact everyone in that grocery store. And this is our responsibility. So I love telling people your vibe is your responsibility, right? And especially if you're going to show up as an entrepreneur in this space of helping people, we've got to do the work. We've got to take responsibility to clean up our own energy so that way people can feel our genuineness, you know, instead of the desperate energy that can be like dangerous in the entrepreneurship world. You know, if you feel like you're stuck, you can't get this client, no one's signing on with you. It's like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? Check in with yourself. What's going on with your energy? Have you spent enough time looking at your life, looking at your story, taking away some really powerful silver linings? You know, healing is a step that entrepreneurs cannot skip. right? It's not necessarily fun to go back and look at some of the trauma that we've been through. It's not necessarily fun, but it's our responsibility as an entrepreneur. And it's only going to help your vibe. And I can't even tell you how much it's going to help raise your vibe. All right. So reality is we're not always going to wake up super high vibe. Like I have mornings all the time when I wake up and I'm like, I don't even want to get out of bed. Why am I doing this? Why am I even trying to be an entrepreneur? People don't even want to listen to me. You know, it's like we get into our own like little pity party. That's normal. It's going to happen. But what are you going to do to raise your vibe quick? You don't want to sit in that for too long. It's not a fun place to be. And let's be real, when we're in that low vibe place of feeling bad for ourselves, we're not attracting much. Reality is we are not attracting abundance when we're down here because the vibration of abundance is up here, right? We got to step ourselves up. We have to reach for the next best feeling, right? You're not going to go from down here feeling like sorry for yourself all the way to like, oh, I'm going to change the world, right? We got to step ourselves there, right? And I just want to show you, this is one of my favorite little things to do for myself. I have something that I call a high vibe toolbox. I've got a whole bunch of tools in my toolbox to get my vibe right? Especially before I'm showing up to coach people, to lead people, to assist people in their own self-discovery. I've got to make sure that my vibe's up there, you know? So simple, no cards, right? We all know that in order to reprogram the subconscious mind, we need repetition, all right? Just like in the gym, we got to do the reps if we want to build the booty, right? I always tell people that if you want to build your booty, you got to do the reps. If you want to change your vibe, you want to be in a higher vibe state of mind, you got to do the reps, right? So we all know affirmations, right? We can think of an affirmation, we can repeat it to ourselves, but are we repeating it enough to the point where it actually becomes a part of us, right? Because when you repeat things, right, it becomes a part of you. How many times have you driven home from work or driven home or to a friend's house or somewhere very familiar, and you get there and it's like, shit, I don't even remember driving here? Like, that's because it's become a part of you. Your subconscious knows it just as well as your conscious mind, so your subconscious just gets you there, all right? That's the same thing with these affirmations. So I use note cards every single day. This is life work, right? I'm expected to show up in a high vibe state for the people who invest in my coaching. So I've got to make sure my mind's right. So write some stuff down to yourself and go through it every single day. This should be in your high vibe toolbox. It's going to impact your energy so much. All right. So I just want to read a couple of them. So this one is from A Course in Miracles. So it might sound familiar. Today, I let go of all that I think is best for me. I release the reins that were not mine to begin with. The universe has my back. Let go and let source lead. Right? Whew. Talk about getting out of hustle mode. That immediately helps me get out of hustle mode and feel more in alignment. Okay? I am accomplishing daily. A productive, successful life flows with ease. Just feels so good. The messages I have learned and been encouraged to share flow with ease and are easily digestible to people, right? I love this one. This one's really funny. My body fat is low. My body is fit. These outfits are lit. So good, you know, so you can literally write down anything on these cards, but it's the act of repetition to retrain the subconscious mind, right? So I'm always writing goals on there. Like for me, especially when it comes to money mindset and attracting more abundance into my life, what am I actually going to do with all of the money that flows to me? I love writing things down on there. Quick little side story. I have a grandmother that I love dearly, and I would go visit her and I would sit in her reclining chair and I'm like, this shit is so uncomfortable. I would rather be sitting on the ground, right? Reality is she's living from that reclining chair. You know, with her age, she's not moving from that chair very much. And it hurt my heart that that chair was so uncomfortable and that's where she was living life. So on one of my affirmation cards, I put, I am so excited to have just purchased a brand new reclining chair for my grandmother. I wasn't in a place financially to do that right away, but I put it on my affirmation card and I repeated it to myself over and over and over and over again. until what happened? I got to buy her the chair, and it felt just as good as I knew it would feel when I was writing it down on the card. Okay, another reason why we're doing this, why we're putting things on these cards, is because we want to raise our emotion before we see a result. Okay, so every time I read that card, I can't wait to pay for this chair and get it delivered to her and see her sitting in it. What happens? It makes me feel that emotion. There is such a strong emotional connection to that I feel it inside. And when you can feel it inside, that's manifestation, baby. When you can feel that emotion all the time, that's when it's going to come to you. You're going to close the gap of how long it takes when you can really find that emotional connection. Let me check my list. I haven't been looking at like my list at all. I've just been going on. Yeah. I want to go back to this idea of hustle versus align, because it's so easy, especially if we have families, we have significant others, maybe you own a house that you need to be paying for, maybe you still have school debt or credit card debt or whatever it is. It is so easy to get into a space of hustle to try to make all your ends meet, right? Hustle is not going to help you vibrationally. All right, people are going to feel that energy without you even speaking. You've got to connect within, and you've got to find this trust within, your intuition, your guides, the light in the sky, God, whatever it is that you resonate with. You've got to build that relation super strong so you feel so trusted and so supported, because that's when your energy is going to feel so supporting to other people. All right, so I always say to my clients, like, how do you want to make people feel? What are your intentions? Get super crystal clear on this. How do you want to make people feel? All right, I decided that I really wanted to help people feel uplifted. Right, I wanted to be this sunshine in people's lives, and I wanted to help them feel uplifted. And that's what I focus on. That is all that I focus on, is how can I help people feel uplifted. So when people are in a lower vibe spot, they already know to come to me, to check out my Instagram story, to reach out to me for a power hour coaching call. They already know, because my intention has been set for so long and I have stuck to that intention. So what is your mood of your business? How do you want to make people feel? You know, like coming down to like even the clothes that I wear. I love wearing comfy, cozy clothes, especially when I'm on coaching calls with people, because they're going to look at me and see how comfy, cozy I am. And that's going to help them feel comfy, cozy, and supported. All right. So I always recommend to all my entrepreneur friends, like, what is the mood? What is the vibe? How do you want to make people feel? And then really stick to that, so people know, right? It's like you train people like to come to you because they want to feel this way, all right? So that's been really, really helpful for me in my business. And, you know, I've been sharing a lot about my story, and I really want to inspire you to do the same. I truly believe that one of the biggest superpowers in the world is to feel so good being vulnerable. Vulnerability truly is a superpower. All right, people are so sick of the fake lives on Instagram, right? Let's be real. Entrepreneurship is no freaking easy task. Hell no, you're signing up for a lot when you become an entrepreneur, right? So let's be real about that, you know? Like, gosh, every person that I have ever worked with, as far as a coach or a mentor or a mastermind, all of them, I have worked with them because of their realness, because I didn't feel any fake vibe at all. And that's why I invested in them, because that's a huge value of mine. You know, really making sure that your core values are supported with the type of people that you connect with. So even partnering, right? Like Keisha partnered with all of us for this summit, which is freaking awesome. And I'm sure she didn't do it blindly. Right? She made sure that the people that were going to be here representing her were in alignment with her core values, right? And that's why this is going to be such a beautiful container for people to learn from, because she did the research first. So whenever you are working with someone, even a client, right? Make sure it's in alignment, so that way you feel so comfortable being vulnerable, right? The most feedback I ever get on Instagram is when I open up and I share parts of me. People love that. They love the fact that I'm willing to be brave and share parts of me, right? I've been going through some hormone balancing issues, right? I got the worst acne I have ever had in my entire life. And I'm 30 years old. I'm like, I don't want to be dealing with acne at 30 years old, but I have been so real about it. I really think it was from my IUD. This was the second time I've had the Mirena. And ever since I got my second one, like my skin has been getting progressively worse. So I've been so real about that journey. I have been showing pictures, which like make me feel so uncomfortable. I'm like, oh, I don't even like looking at these pictures, but I have taken myself out of the equation. I am here as a light worker. I am here to serve. I am here to raise people's vibe. And I have totally gotten so comfortable with that. I'm going to use my life story as a vessel to help other people feel not so alone. All right. I can't tell you how many people have been in my DMs about IUDs, about birth control, about acne. And of course, that's not my zone of genius. It's not really, my coaching, but it's the relationship building, right? It's the way that I'm making people feel. I'm making people feel so comfortable, right? It doesn't surprise me if those people eventually come to me for some kind of coaching or some kind of program or one of my retreats or something like that, because they see my realness and I take the time to be honest with them and be open and be vulnerable. So as a light worker, get really real. Think about your stories. What can you share to make people feel such a bond to you, right? It's actually pretty exciting. I love sharing stories now. So much of my life I was so ashamed of for a really long time, and there's just no point in being ashamed anymore. There's no point. Share your story proud. You are put on this earth to share your story, right? You are a light worker. You are here for a reason. So make sure you set those really good, strong intentions as you connect with people and build those relationships. All right. And just to wrap up, I don't want to make this too long, but I'm so happy that I was able to come here and chat with you. So thank you so much, Keisha. But I just want to end with the fact that we are all on this road together and there is so much support here, right? So much support here. So make sure you find the people who make you feel most supported, because we all need shoulders to lean on. Entrepreneur journey it's a journey, and it can sure as hell be a lonely journey, all right? I actually just made a pretty big decision like a year and a half ago. I was living in Boston, Massachusetts. Still has my heart, always will have my heart. But reality was I was super fucking distracted all the time because all of my friends were around, my family was around, my favorite gyms, everything, right? I would have such a plan for my day, and then someone would call me up and be like, hey, you want to come here and work out? And I'd be like, yeah, sure. And my whole entrepreneur plan would go out the window because I was so distracted. So I had to make a big move for myself, and I had to change my environment. I had big dreams, big goals. I want to impact people's lives, so I had to do something pretty drastic. So I picked up and I moved off across the country. I now live in San Diego. I don't know many people here. I love it. I love not knowing many people here. I have made amazing friends. I have made amazing connections, but I made the decision because I was so serious about my passion and my purpose that I was willing to uproot my entire life and move somewhere where I wasn't going to be so distracted. Right? And not to mention, the vibe is totally different. Keisha and I were talking right before we started pressing record. The vibe is completely different in California. If you have never been to California, you have got to come experience it. The vibe is so different here and so supporting, especially for people on this entrepreneur journey. San Diego just kind of like breeds laptop lifestyle people, so you got to be around these positive, supportive people, but also know that the low vibes are going to come. All right, they're going to come, and you have so many tools in your toolbox to pull yourself up, to get out of that funk. Some mornings I wake up ready to take on the freaking world. I'm like, give me my podcast mic or give me Instagram story. I got messages to share, and that's great. I love that. But then there's some mornings where I seriously wake up and question everything that I'm doing. you know, and the reality is that's going to happen. We have a little angel on one shoulder, we have a little devil on the other shoulder, and it's up to us to decide which one we allow to speak louder. So when you are in those funks, do not lose sight. You are a light worker. You have been put on this earth to help raise the vibration of the world. Take that as a responsibility and know that that is your purpose. That is, you know, so many people are like, I can't figure out what my purpose is. If you have these qualities of a light worker, you want to help people, you want to raise the energy, you want to make people smile, you want to really support people on such a deeper level, this is your path. This is your journey, and you can make this a lifestyle for yourself, right? Just know that the ups and downs are always going to come, and you are the one responsible to know how to pull yourself out of it, all right? And connecting with these badass women that are on this summit is definitely a great way to do that. So thank you so much, Keisha. What a fun time.
Thank you so much. Sorry, my voice.
How are you feeling?
I'm getting better, but my voice is still gone. Thank you so much. That was so amazing. I'm so happy you're here.
Sure. I just love sharing my heart. So thank you for giving me the opportunity.
No problem. I loved it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.